Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. The goal of this episode is to figure out how to explain the kingdom of God to a child. So if you're, maybe it doesn't even have to be a child or just somebody who isn't familiar with the idea of the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven, what is the way that we can make that idea as simple as possible while capturing its essence? So that's what I'm going to try to do in this video. So if we're in that situation where we're to explain the kingdom of God to a child, first, we should start by explaining what a kingdom is. And what is a kingdom? A kingdom is a place, like a land or a region, that is ruled by a king and his royal family. Everybody in the kingdom looks to the king for direction and support. The king is respected by the people and will occupy a position of authority unrivaled by any other figure. His words are law, and it is his responsibility to maintain the peace and security of the people who reside in the kingdom, and to support them in getting daily bread. As you do this, you can point them to some kingdoms in the past that were powerful and had dominion, and show them times when the kings of those kingdoms were noble, just men who had executed justice and judgment for their people. Then take the child to the Old Testament and show them how God built his own kingdom in the scriptures. He started out by taking his people out of Egypt and leading them through the wilderness to the promised land, the land of Canaan. After settling them in the land, they began to live there and multiply further. And after some time passed and a king was established, God then called a young man, David, to build that kingdom. After killing Goliath and spending years training in the wilderness, according to Psalm 144 verse 1, he eventually became king of the entire nation of Israel and established righteousness in the land. Finally, explain to the child that God also promised to establish another kingdom. But this one would have dominion over all other kingdoms, as Daniel chapter 2 verse 44 shows. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Explain that this kingdom would be a utopia once fully built, a place of peace and bliss where people would live happily ever after. As God himself promised, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying, according to Isaiah chapter 65, verses 17 to 19. Every kingdom has a king. So this particular kingdom does have a king, who is God's son, Jesus Christ, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 24 to 28. Although it might seem as though God should have been the king, God preferred that his son take charge of the kingdom, because he loves his son so much. The Father loveth the Son, and hath given all things into his hand. That's John chapter 3, verse 35. In addition, this kingdom also has princes, who are the apostles of Jesus. They form his cabinet, his inner circle. Jesus made this promise to them in Luke chapter 22 verses 28 to 30, where he said, Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. This kingdom would be unlike any other kingdom. It would take control of every corner of the earth. And God, at the end of the day, will be all in all. So I think that's where I'm going to stop on answering that question. How do you explain the kingdom of God to a child? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to know when we come back with our next video. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.